All right, what's up? It's your boy Adam. I just finished recording the last video about 3 seconds ago, but I decided to split stuff up today to make 2 videos. Instead of making one video that's 3 hours long, I'm gonna go and do 2 videos that are 2 hours long each, probably. I don't know. So it's still July 15th. And so make sure you like and subscribe if you like this channel and you want to support what I'm doing. Just being here, just watching, just leaving comments, participating, that's all good. That's all I care about, because it's the fact that you guys keep coming back to watch that motivates me to make more. And eventually things are going to improve, and this is going to be a better channel a year from now than it is today. That's my goal anyway. So I'm going to get into the plugs really quick. Live stream. I'm doing a live stream now every Thursday from 6 to 8 Central Standard Time, and that's 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, and whatever it is where you live, that's what it is. Figure it out. You know how to do that. No commercials on the live stream, just straight up. It's a party. You're invited. Don't be a troll. I don't know. That's all I got to say about that. Some of you were upset that I'm putting a delay on the videos. They're not coming out, so you don't get the up-to-the-minute live breaking news coverage that you were accustomed to when I was homeless. And so now you got a live stream. You can ask me whatever you want to know right there. And I'm on the hot seat. It's live. I can't edit my answers, or you can put me in my place right there, live. I will turn on ads for the stream replay after the streams are done, but let me know in the comments if those if the ads. I'm assuming that the replay of a live stream, if an ad shows up, the stream will pick up where it left off, and you won't miss anything that was being said. If that's not the case, then screw it. I won't put the ads on at all. Because I know in a regular video, when you watch an ad, the video picks up where it left off. You can contact me directly. A lot of people want to know. It's in the channel description. And I've got links in all the videos below, but people just don't think to click sometimes. I'm the same way. So it's Adam at litgood.com. If you want to support the channel, I have an Etsy photography store at shop.litgood.com. And everything that's available on that shop will also be listed here on the YouTube channel if you're on the app. And I've got an email list that I've sent out like 1 or 2 emails in the last 6 months. So you're not going to get a lot of spam. It's free.litgood.com. You can download some free wallpaper, get some good photos for your wallpaper in your machine, your digital devices. And if you just want to throw a few buns in the digital chicken bucket, it's donate.litgood.com. And all my photography is at litgood.com. It's not all my photography. It's just right now it's just a free website builder that I used to put up a gallery, just to show you what I do. I'll have to rebuild my old website, and that'll take some time that I don't have. I'm on X. It's all these links are in the description below. I'm on X, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, and TikTok, but I'm not really keeping up with all of that. I'm kind of sick of the politics right now, so X, I haven't really been on there that much lately. Instagram and Facebook suck, so I hardly ever get on there. Rumble and TikTok both suck, so I'm not really focusing on those either. I'll get into the rhythm again of doing that stuff, but I am there. If you're looking for me, you can find me. So what have I been up to lately? I've been riding my bike a lot. I don't have a lot of energy. I wanted to work on my bicycles again last weekend and I didn't. The biggest struggle now that I'm in a good place, I feel like the place that I live right now is comfortable. It's small, but it's a good starter kit. It'll help get me on my feet to the next level, whatever that is. But I didn't work on my bicycles. I got everything else I wanted to get done on Sunday, but bicycles had to take another sideline. So I'm up to about probably 5 hours worth of work the next time I can work on my bikes. 5 hours. That's what I got to plan for. It might not take that long, but I even made some Tres Leches coffee creamer, and I can make 3 gallons of cold brew coffee at a time now. So I took a 40 to 48 ounce carafe of cold brew and a 24 ounce bottle of creamer to the bakery with me yesterday, carried that on my back. I weighed it when I got there. It was about 7 pounds extra in my backpack that already weighs 16 pounds. I did feel, I'm worn out. But I took that in just for anybody that wants some cold brew coffee and some homemade creamer. But one thing that popped up that I can talk about real quick was I saw a video from a guy that I follow, and he was talking about how he feels like we're living, I've talked about this on this channel, he feels like we're living in a weird time warp. And I said I've been feeling it too. Like, I don't feel like I can accomplish what I used to be able to do. I feel like the time is, like, we're living in a time warp where time is moving so fast. Like, everything's out of sync, and it's hard to explain. We have 3 different scientific explanations for what's going on. The first being that the internet is a major distraction and it sucks up a lot of our time, and that's why we're running around like chickens with our head cut off, because we're sucking up all of our time scrolling our phones and keeping up with the Kardashians and all that dumb bullshit. And when we just don't have as much time because we're wasting too much of it. The second reason is because as you get older, a year of your life is, right now, a year of my life is 1/50th of my total life. So each year that you live, when I'm 70 years old, 1 year is 1/70th of my life. It's a smaller slice of the pie. Therefore, it seems like less time. When you're 5 years old, a year is 1/5 of your life, and it seems like it takes forever to get through a year because you've only been through 4 or 5 of them so far. But when you've been through this thing 70 times, it's like, well, just another fucking year, I guess. And it goes by a lot faster in your mind. And then the third, well, those are the 2 scientific explanations. I don't really know what the third one is, but I've heard another explanation as to why this might be the case. And I think there's some truth to that. But with the internet, no, I don't buy that, because I've been on the internet since like 1993 regularly, surfing the web, CompuServe, AOL. Apple even had their own version of AOL. I forget what it was. I don't even remember what it was called. IRC, bulletin boards. I mean, if you really want to get, I've been dialing into bulletin boards and shit like that since 1990. So the internet has been a major distraction of my life, going all the way back to 1992. A major distraction. Chatting with people online all the time, going to websites all the time. Social media Facebook was popular in 2005. MySpace came before that. LiveJournal, all these different, Friendster, all these different things. No, my life is distracted by social media and scrolling all this bullshit, going all the way back to like the mid 1990s. That's 30 fucking years ago. So the fact that my life was consumed by being distracted by the internet, no, it's not. That's not the reason, because my life has been distracted nonstop by the internet for 30 years. Yet back then I could do a lot more in a day. I could go to work at 8, 9 in the morning and work until 5 and look at all the shit I got done today. Wow. Now, if I had a 9 to 5 job, I'd go to work, sit down, write like 3 lines of code, and holy shit, it's 5 o'clock. Where'd all the time go? How do I get all this done? Everything just, it doesn't, like, you can't do as much shit in a day as you used to be able to. And I'm not the only one. It's not because I'm old and slow. Kids are saying this to me. Teenagers are saying this to me. I know teenagers. When the young kids are saying the same thing, that they notice something is wrong. The time just doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, you wake up on Monday morning, you blink your eye, and it's Friday afternoon, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? What happened to the whole week? Here it's, yesterday was Monday, it's noon on Tuesday. And I'm like, before I know it, I'm going to blink my eyes 3 times. I'm going to have to do my laundry because it's noon on Friday. And I'm going to be like, where the fuck did the time even go? And how do I not get anything done? Even though I'm constantly grinding. Constantly grinding. I don't do anything fun anymore. I sit in front of a TV sometimes. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But there's something weird. But at the same time, if I speak scientifically, if I were to get in my vehicle and go on a 4-hour drive, let's say point A to B. If I lived in Pittsburgh right now and I wanted to drive to Rochester, New York, it's a 4-hour drive. It would still take 4 hours. It would take 2 hours to drive from Pittsburgh to Erie, PA, 2 hours to go from Erie to Rochester. And it would still be the same today. If I went to Pittsburgh and drove that trip, it would still take 4 hours. The same distance, the same amount of time, the same speed. So that leads you to believe it's all in your head. But I'm not the only one saying this. I've got clients telling me this, that something's not right. That they can't believe that, like, something that used to take me a week to do now takes 6 months. And I don't know why. I don't know why the time goes by so fast. It's like every time I turn around, 3 days went by, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to those days? Kids are saying it. Old people are saying it. Now random people that I follow on YouTube are putting up videos talking about this. And nobody can explain it. Like, it's like a time warp. You feel out of sync. And you feel like everything is just not. I say it's happened since 2020. After 2020, when things started, I never lived my life. I lived my life as if everything's back to normal on the day the shit scam started. I never lived my life as if there was anything like that going on, because I knew it was all bullshit and it was a scam. So I lived my life accordingly. I just ignored it and said, fuck this. And yeah, I got kicked out of businesses because I wouldn't wear my mask. I lost a job. I was fired from a remote job. I was fired from a remote job for not taking a fucking vaccine. And I said no. And to this day, you can't make me go along with any of your fucking scams. I won't do it. If they told me I had to wear a mask to go to the bakery and work, I'd be like, see you guys, not doing it. If that means I go back to prison, I won't even wear a mask in prison. They'll have to chain me down like Hannibal Lecter, put me on a fucking furniture dolly to wheel me around so that they can put a fucking mask on my face, because otherwise, go ahead, give me 20 fucking years in prison because I won't wear a stupid COVID mask. I won't do it. I won't fucking do it. If we get to that level, fuck, dude. I'm not, like, if we get to that level again. But see, they blew their wad the last time they pulled that scam. Like, if they try to do it again, people just, the dummies, the people that you see outside right now on July 15th, 2025, if you go outside and you see these fucking retards walking around with a mask on their face, they're going to go along with anything the government tells them to do, they're going to do. If the government said climb up to the roof of a building and jump off, they'd do it right away. You would see all these people laying in the fucking sidewalks splattered around tall buildings because these fucking retards were told to go jump off the roof. The TV news people said that Donald Trump just issued a mandate that all people who believe they need to wear their COVID mask need to jump off the roof of a building. They're going to go do it. Probably, well, it would have to be a Democrat telling them to do it before they do it. So let's see, if Nancy Pelosi told them to go do it, they would do it. They would, if Donald Trump told these people to keep wearing their COVID mask, they'd finally take the fucking mask off. If Donald Trump said, I want you to wear your COVID mask, you would see first of all, you would see all these fucking people that walk around with them on today, you'd see their face for the first time in 5 years. And you wouldn't even know what to fucking do because you wouldn't even recognize them without their mask. But then, all the fucking people that are giving Donald Trump a free pass on the Jeffrey Epstein, they're like, you know, now that Donald Trump wants to protect the child molesters in Congress by just trying to bury that shit under the rug when he told all of his people in the campaign promise that he was going to look into that and take care of that. And now he's turning around and saying, why are we still talking about that? Why won't it just go away? All the people that still give Donald Trump a pass and are fine with that, they'll be wearing masks after Donald Trump tells them to wear a fucking mask. But getting back to this whole time warp concept, we're going off of a fucking cliff as society. We're on the, like, how much longer can this fucking shit show keep going before it finally just goes over the fucking edge of the waterfall? And that was the concept that somebody shared with me, I don't know, via YouTube video or what, that society is just headed towards the fucking edge. Like, the end days, when Jesus comes out of the sky with a sword to cut down all of his enemies, like the Jews back in his day thought he was gonna do, but when he comes back to actually do that, we're there. We're almost there. We're almost to the edge of the waterfall. And what happens to the current in the river as it approaches the waterfall? The current, the speed of the river moves along a lot faster when you're right before the edge of the waterfall. And that is the explanation that people are giving as to why time, this concept of time, is moving along so fast that we can't even make sense of it, and we can't keep up with it, and we don't know what the fuck's going on, because there's enough evidence to say that everything's just fine, but in your mind you know it's not. Everybody knows that it's not fine. But nobody can figure out why, because when you do the logic The logic says that everything's the way it's supposed to be. The observations, the data all backs up that it's all in your head and you're just crazy. But your experience, everybody I talk to, everybody knows I'm right because they're all talking about it. Now, I don't even have to bring it up. I'll hear somebody else talking about it. You notice how like it just seems like the clocks are all out of whack and it just seems like time is moving along much faster than it used to, but it's not, but it is, and you can't explain why, and you can't get anything done, and you know, the things that took you a week to do, now they take you 8 months to do, and it like doesn't make any fucking sense. The current of the river flows the fastest right before the edge of the waterfall. If you're 20 miles away from the waterfall, the current is so slow that you can go out on your fucking kayak and just, you can go out on a raft and just take a nap and lay down on your raft, and you know you don't gotta worry about going over the waterfall. On the Niagara River, there's probably places where you can just chill out on the river in a fucking floaty, a little pool raft with a beer in the cup holder and be just fine. You ain't gotta worry about going over Niagara Falls. You could fall asleep. You could drink too much booze, pass out, and by the time you wake up, you may have gone 20 feet down the river. But if you're a mile away from Niagara Falls on the river, you might not want to be out on a floaty. You might not want to. You might be able to go out on a boat if you got a good engine on that boat. There is a cutoff point somewhere on that river where you're not allowed to be out there on a boat. I'm going to say it's more than a mile away from the falls. There's probably a rope going across that bitch. But no, you don't. Even if you're going to go, even if you're planning on going over the Niagara Falls in a barrel, an orange barrel, you got to get in the river pretty close to the falls. Because if you're a mile away from the falls and you jump in your yellow barrel to go over the waterfall, the river's still moving pretty slow. There's a chance that someone's going to show up in a boat and scoop you up out of the river and then give you a big fine and put you in jail. You want to get close enough to the falls that they can't come and get you unless you survive and you're bobbing and floating down the Niagara River after the falls, and you show up somewhere where they can finally get a rescue boat and pull you out of the river and then take you to jail and give you a big fine. But the current moves faster and faster as it gets to the edge. There's a couple of places on the American side of Niagara Falls where you can stand on the edge of there's an island, I think it's called Goat Island or something like that. There's a bridge over the Niagara River that takes you to the island that you can walk across, and that water is flowing. You do not want to fall. If you fall in that river, and back in the day, I don't know what it's like now, you could just stand right on the edge of the river and watch that shit flowing by, and you could jump in if you wanted to. There was no railing there to stop you. I don't know, they probably sanitized it by now, but back when I was a kid, you could just be like, see ya! You could just jump in, and that's it, baby. You're going over the falls. There's nothing you can do once you're in that water. There's nothing you can do. That water's moving like 40 miles an hour going past that island. Nothing you're going to do. Nothing. That's over. Game over. You're going over the falls. Whether you live or not, there's a good chance you're not. There's a good chance that your body won't even bob up to be found for a couple of weeks. It's just like a washing machine down in the waterfall. When you go under a waterfall, it's like that. The thing just keeps shoving you back. It just keeps, you can't. I've been caught in little waterfalls like that where I'm like, holy crap, you can't get out of this. Just a small little waterfall will do that to you. You might have to have your friends pull you out. Like if you're just, swimming in a creek that has a waterfall back in the woods somewhere, you can get in some trouble even there. We're not talking about Niagara Falls. But the current keeps moving faster the closer you get to that waterfall. And that's where we're at as society right now, and that's the explanation that made the most sense to me is that we're so close to the waterfall now that the river's moving so fast that we're beyond the point where you can swim or do anything about it. We're all just floating in our barrels towards the edge of Niagara Falls. And we're all going to go careening over the edge pretty soon, but we don't know when. But we know that you can't swim anymore. You can't paddle against the current. Even if you had the most powerful motorboat, you're going. You're not turning around. You're not going to make it to the shore. You're in the river, you're flowing through it, and that's it. It's over. It's just a matter of, it could be a week, it could be 6 months, it could be 2 years, however long we got left. We're caught in the flow of the river now, and there's no going back. Jesus isn't going to come save us. No. God don't give a fuck about this country anymore. He don't care. Individually, yes, he does care about you. He cares about me. He cares about everybody. But society as a whole, he's like, fuck them, let them drown. I don't give a fuck anymore. I try to help these people. What did they do? I came down and I was nice to everybody. I healed the sick. I let the blind see. I even brought people back from the dead. And what did they do? They nailed me to a fucking board and hung me up to die. So fuck these people. Fuck them. If that was Jesus, that'd be me. And now when Jesus does come back, he's coming back with a vengeance. He's pissed off. He's gonna cut people down. The Bible says this. When he comes back, he ain't playing. He ain't gonna be coming back to heal the sick and, make the blind see and all that shit. He's coming to mow motherfuckers down and cut off heads and throw people into the lake of fire and all that. He's coming back with a vengeance. And then whoever lives through that gets to hang out in 1,000-year kingdom to see, okay, here's what the world was like if I'm in charge for 1,000 years. And then it's all going to go to shit again, according to the Bible. And then from there, after the 1,000 years and after the next time it goes to crap, Jesus is going to fix it again. And that because people, for 1,000 years, people will just get used to everything being so good that they'll just go right back down. It'll be like just a bunch of whores with OnlyFans accounts and, all the stupid shit we have now. And it'll go right back to shit, even with Jesus in charge. And he's going to have to clean house again. And then from there, we're good. Because people finally fucking learn their lesson. That's basically the gist of it all. But I can't explain why the time warp is so profound right now. And I'm not the only one feeling this. I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments about this. Everybody's got their own opinion about it, but the opinion of the distraction of the internet being one of the big reasons, I don't buy it, because I started feeling this after 2020. I didn't feel like this before, and the internet's been there for the internet's been prominent in our lives, especially if you spend all of your life in front of a computer like I do. And I still used to be able to get all kinds of shit done. Now I don't. How? And it's not just me. Everybody you talk to feels the same way. Our computers are faster than they've ever been before. They're more powerful than they've ever been before. They have the capability to allow you to do more work than you could have ever done before, yet we don't. We do a lot less. If I had a computer like this in the mid-90s, oh my God, I couldn't even imagine what I would have accomplished back then with a computer and the computer in front of me is already ancient. My MacBook is from 2019. That's like 1,000 years ago in computer years. If I had this thing in the mid-90s, this would have been considered a supercomputer. It could have been the fastest computer on Earth in 1995, this little MacBook. If I could go back in time and take this MacBook with me, it would be more powerful than the best computer on earth at that time. People be looking at it like, what in the fuck is that thing? I don't know, man. I just like time. Time is my, all right. Yeah. Speaking of time, you get a certain amount of time before the battery on your phone will go dead, especially when you're shooting a video. And I was paying absolutely no attention to that. And it just cut off in the middle of a sentence, and said, oh, I need a different camera app, because a different camera app would allow me to adjust exposure for that bright window behind me, and it would allow me to, it would give me warnings when you're running out of disk space and when you're running out of battery power. It would give me a warning and say, hey, this app is just trash. Graphene OS sucks. I don't like it. It's just, it's fun to play with. That's where this phone came from. My friend, who's an IT guy, put a phone together using Graphene OS to play around with it. He had extra phones. He used to work for T-Mobile, so he has extra phones and access to phones. So he decided to mess around with it on like a spare phone. And so when I got out of prison, he was like, hey, I got this spare phone I can throw your way if you want help. It's like, okay, yeah, awesome. So I totally am grateful to have a phone. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's definitely been good, but it's about that time. I gotta figure out. I think that's one of the things I gotta do in the next month or so, is get a different phone and get off of that. Oh, this thing. This phone. This phone. It's constantly giving me issues, though. I think it's still recording the video, so we'll just keep going. But I was talking about just time. Feeling like we're in a time warp and all that. And I keep reading the book, Jesus Calling. It's something I don't do it every day. So I'm going to share 3 entries that I read. Today's entry, July 15th, is like, whoa. I'm going to read you July 15th because of how it lines up with what I was talking with you guys about just now. It's uncanny because I read it after I started talking about this. And it just lines right up. It lines right up. And then I'll go and read the other 2 and talk about how they lined up with those days. I did not read the book yesterday because it's bakery day and time. And I don't usually go back and read the day before if I forget. I figure, well, next year, I'll read it next year. This is a book you just keep for the rest of your life, and you read it. And you may not read it every single day. But anyway, for July 15th, it says, do not worry about tomorrow. That is not a suggestion, but a command. Straight up, don't worry about tomorrow. I'm getting better at this. I'll get all worked up about stuff and I'll get worried about things, but then I just, I remember, don't worry. And it was like when the washing machine broke on Friday. I got all like, for a few minutes, I was like, went down that downward spiral of what does this mean? What does this mean? How is this going to make my life difficult? That train of thought. And then I said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. It'll all work out. Just let it go. Just do something else. There's a brand new washing machine sitting right next to me now. I haven't even opened the box. It's Tuesday. It didn't cost me a dime. And now this one has a 3-year warranty on it. So even if I throw it out, even if I get mad and kick a hole in the side of it and like smash it with a hammer, I'll get a new one out of it. Because the warranty covers everything, even intentional abuse or something like it. It's crazy. But that's not my plan, but I feel confident I can do laundry for 3 years now without any major issues. So anyway, don't worry about tomorrow. That's a command. It's not a suggestion. That's a command. He commands you to do that. It says, I divided time into days and nights so that you would have manageable portions of life to handle. I'm just talking about living in a time warp and not being able to handle time anymore. And now I'm reading today's entry, which says, I divided time into days and nights so that you would have a manageable portion of life to handle. It says, my grace is sufficient for you, but its sufficiency is only for one day at a time. When you worry about the future, you heap day upon day of troubles onto your flimsy frame. And then you stagger under this heavy load. The fuck? Alright, so the phone. Ugh. This phone is annoying. But like I said, beggars can't be choosers. It's not the end of the world. It's just annoying. I kept getting this warning saying that the phone's overheating, and it's like the video or the video recorder started going berserk, the screen went blank, whatever happens. This phone does not like to be too warm. I put it in the freezer for a few minutes and decided to pull the new washing machine out of the box and see where I'm at. I'll do a tour of the house. So the pros and the cons, I have not turned on the new washing machine to see if it even works, but it's ready to go. Number one, the pros. It fits exactly in the space that I wanted the original one to fit. Precisely. Like, not an inch to spare. But it fits exactly in that space, the way, with the orientation that I wanted it to, next to the sink, between the sink and the water heater. Bam, and all of a sudden it makes the bathroom look spacious. It changes the whole feel of the bathroom just having that in that space the way I originally went. It doesn't feel crowded anymore in there. It feels nice. It feels nice and spacious. Perfect. They're almost the same size. They are just very, very slight difference in size, but the one thing that I noticed right away on the new one does have a shallower washing machine side, and I measured it. It was like a 4-inch difference, the depth. So whatever's on the left-hand side of that machine, that, you know, the washing machine side is 4 inches shallower than the washing machine side of the old one I'm getting rid of. It actually doesn't look like I'd be able to put my bedding in the new one and wash my bedding. But I probably shouldn't wash bedding in there anyway. The wash side doesn't seem to matter what you put in it. It's the spin cycle side that's going to be a problem. And but either way, if I have to go to a laundromat and wash a blanket and some bedding once in a great while, or, you know, once in a while, sheets, I can do sheets. I could wash a set of sheets, and like, that's not a problem. Sheets, fitted sheet and a regular sheet, even if I have to do them separately, that I could handle in this thing. It's the like a blanket or the cover to my mattress that I may not be able to do. I don't know yet, but sheets would be fine. The new one, like I said, it's 4 inches less deep, and the washing machine side, I think, was an inch smaller. So it's a little bit smaller, but not much, but it's kind of noticeable. There were certain other aspects of the new one that seemed a little bit crappy compared to the older one. But, I mean, if you're comparing these things to each other, there's not a lot of difference. I just think the old one, certain aspects of it seem better right out of the gate than this new one in terms of quality of certain things. But the difference is the new one should work. The old one doesn't. So regardless of what anything looks like, the old one doesn't work. The spin cycle's busted. It's done. I'm going to give it one more shot, like just to see if drying out for several days made the spin cycle work again, like just magically water got in the wrong place or something. Like when you have a phone that goes dead and then you put it in a bowl of rice for a number of days and then all of a sudden your phone works again. But I highly doubt that that's going to work. And if it does, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might sell it at that point. I don't know if I can use it a few times, but I'm not expecting it to work. I tried over the last couple of days, every now and then I'd plug it in and turn on the spin cycle to see if it would spin. It doesn't. So I think that's just done. The new one, like I said, I haven't used it yet, but they're identical in terms of how they function, how they work, and generally how they work, or generally how they look. They look just slightly different. The new one, the lids for each side seem a little crummier. Like it's not, the new one, the old one seems like it was slightly nicer overall, but how it looks doesn't matter. Does it work? And the new one, I've got a 3-year warranty, so if it's broken, even if it's broke today, I'm good. I'll figure it out. But I'm probably gonna do laundry today with it at some point. I'm not really feeling like it, but I feel like why not get it done and see how it works, if it's any good. Just make sure that the thing works right out, better to find out now. But overall, I feel like it was a good replacement. It fits better. The capacity is not really that much less. I see it with my eyes that this won't hold as much stuff, but the spin cycle side, they're the exact same size, the same depth, the same width. The spin dryer is the exact same size. So what that means is on the old one, I might have to do I might have to load the spinner 3 times and spin dry 3 times before I can empty out the wash side completely. But with the new one, it might only take 2 runs through the spin cycle to get all the clothes done. And the capacity is still fine for a week's worth of clothes in 2 loads. Usually the second load that I do is not even half of what the washer is capable of washing. So I think I'm fine. I think it's a good switch. But I got some things to do, and I'm probably gonna take if the old machine is still broken, if it doesn't magically start working again, I'll probably just pluck and pull parts off of it. Anything that might be useful to keep handy as a spare part for the new one, which probably isn't much, but maybe a hose or something, The new one doesn't have a thing to wrap your power cord around, but when I push it up against the wall, it's all hidden anyway. It looks fine. It just seems like it's a crappier version of the one I have, but does it work? And that's the important thing. So I wasn't gonna rebuy the same item again because it broke 5 times after I started using it. So that's why I just disappeared and had to restart the phone again, because I had to put it in the freezer so that the phone could cool off for a minute. And then plug in the power supply so that it has power. And then I figured, well, it'll give me like 5 to 10 minutes to go see how this new washing machine looks. So I'll take you on a tour as I get my place. The next time I get the place all clean and tidy again, I'll take you on a tour. It's not really like squalor or anything. It's just I'm not going to take you on a tour right now until I take the trash out. I've got boxes over there piled up to go out. I've got a washing machine sitting in the bedroom that I gotta figure. I don't know. I don't want the thing just hanging out in here, so I'm probably just gonna throw it away. If I had more space in my house, I'd probably just keep the thing and use it to wash stuff. Like use it to wash really dirty stuff or wash bigger things or something. I'd find a use for it, even though the spin cycle side's broke. But I have no place to put the thing. So I don't want it. I just don't want it in here, taking up space for no reason. Maybe give it away on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe somebody, maybe say like, I don't even want it in here tonight. That's the problem. I might just put it out on the curb and say free. Put it out by the curb with a thing that says free. Put a little thing that says if you can fix the spin cycle side, cool. If not, I don't know, put it out there with the thing that says I don't know what to do with it right now. I don't know, it kind of sucks. There's a dumpster outside. I can just throw it in and be done with it. But anyway, so now I'm going to go back to where I left off when the phone died. And I'm just going to start over because that cut me off right in the middle of what I was talking about. And how I just got done talking about how we live in a time warp. And we're all feeling it to a degree. Nobody can really explain why. Is it the CERN, the particle collider? Did they screw something up and put us in a time warp of some weird, like did they do something to screw us up? You know, you got all these weird evil scientists like Dr. Fauci running around not giving a shit about the consequences of their experiments and their mad scientist laboratories. So who knows? Maybe one of these mad scientists fucked us on time, just like they screwed up with the viruses in the labs. But anyway, so I was talking about the time warp. And today, the same day I'm talking about the time warp, Jesus Calling on July 15th, he says, "Do not worry about tomorrow. That is not a suggestion, but a command. I divided time into days and nights so that you would have manageable portions of life to handle. My grace is sufficient for you, but its sufficiency is only for one day at a time. When you worry about the future, you heap day upon day of troubles onto your flimsy frame. You stagger under this heavy load, which I never intended you to carry. Throw off this oppressive burden with one quick thrust of trust. Anxious thoughts meander about and crisscross in your brain, but trusting me brings you directly into my presence. As you thus affirm your faith, shackles of worry fall off instantly. Enjoy my presence continually by trusting me at all times." So it doesn't even matter if we live in a time warp and time is not going by at the same speed that it's supposed to or whatever. You're supposed to just worry about one day at a time. You're not supposed to worry about tomorrow. if you, here's the equivalent. If you spend all of your days worrying about tomorrow, next week, next year, whatever. I went hiking for a weekend with my friends, backpacking in the Dolly Sods wilderness of West Virginia. You either know what that is or you don't. It's a very extremely rugged terrain, extremely rugged hike. It's one of the craziest hikes that you can go on. It's brutal. And I was screwing around. I had just bought this military backpack that could hold a lot of stuff. And so I'm like, what can I put in here? And I just kept filling it and filling it and filling it and filling it just to see what it would carry. And before I knew it, I had 72 pounds of stuff in this. The backpack weighed 72 pounds. And so because of the fact that I'm struggling, now I'm carrying a 72 pound backpack and all my friends are carrying like 30 pound bags. And you should have seen me just trying to put the damn thing on to start the hike each day. It was crazy. And because of the weight and because of the mountains and because of the terrain and everything, it became a burden not just for me, but a burden for everybody else who was on that hike, unfortunately, because I couldn't hike as fast as everybody else. And so I was the last one showing up at the campsite. Everybody else has already got their camp set up and eaten their dinner before I even showed up. So I had no say into where we were going to camp, or I was by myself sometimes. And if anybody did want to hike with me, they were screwed going my pace because I couldn't go that fast. And it was brutal. It hurt my back. It was painful. It was a bad idea. There was so much stuff in this backpack that was pointless to bring. And then I had a camera with me that got destroyed from that trip. Somebody else's camera the terrain is so brutal that it will destroy your camera. Even if you carry your camera in a waterproof bag, it's so brutal there, and the weather is so brutal that it will destroy. It's a destroyer of things. This place is crazy to hike. On the last day of the hike, everybody wanted to get back to the cars quickly. So one of the fastest hiker in the group went to the cars, turned around, came back and grabbed part of my stuff to help lighten my load just so that I would get back to the cars faster. But that's how much people were upset. I mean, it wasn't like bitter anger, but people were a little bit. It was not just me, it was the weather, it was the terrain, it was the fact that we hiked all this way and we got lost one day. I've told more than one story about this weekend, but so many things went wrong that weekend aside from me that it was just misery. But that extra burden, worrying about tomorrow and the next day and weeks later and all that, it's like carrying a backpack with 72 pounds of crap on your back and trying to cover the same amount of ground that you could cover if you weren't carrying anything in your bag. You can't get through the day worrying about all this stuff that you can't do anything about, and it will just make it so you don't get as far through your day as you otherwise would. Friday was a good example of that. I didn't spend a lot of time worrying about the washing machine, and part of losing time that day was the burden of having a broken washing machine, having to figure out how to dry all these clothes. I had to go through extra hassles. I had to take the washing machine apart and try to see if I could fix it. Like if something got unhooked, like a switch or something got messed up. Like I lost time just for the logistics of getting my laundry done. But then I was worried about, now what? and it was just the worrying about it made things worse until I just said, I give up. I'm not going to worry about this. Let Jesus take care of it. And here it's Tuesday, and I have a brand new washing machine sitting in there with a 3-year warranty that fits snugly exactly in the spot that I wanted the old one to fit. It almost seems like I'm going to end up better off than I was just because the thing broke, with a little bit of hassle in the middle. But I didn't have to worry about it. It all just worked out on its own. I had to do stuff. I had to pursue a resolution. It wasn't just going to magically come to me, but I didn't really have any problems between Friday and today. I wasn't even expecting it to come today. It was supposed to be here on Friday. Between Friday and Tuesday, and all of a sudden it's here now. Like 4 days after this happened. 4 days to the hour almost. I don't even need to do laundry yet. So, Matthew chapter 6, verse 34 is, "Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." That's one of the verses I had to memorize for my life. That he talks about the birds in the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather their food into barns to store it for a later day, yet God still feeds them. God takes care of them. So why do you think God wouldn't take care of you and give you what you need? In Corinthians, Paul is talking about, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." And so, God uses our weakness to show how powerful he is. And you just gotta trust him. I don't always trust him. I have a lot more trust in God now than I would say ever in my life. And he doesn't always, if God would do whatever I want him to do, I wouldn't have been in prison for more than a couple of days. And that would have all just gone away. I certainly wouldn't have spent 20 months going through that hell if I could just ask God to make it stop and he would automatically listen. But you're still supposed to trust him, that he's gonna figure it all out for you. And I don't understand the whole rain thing. Like, I just feel like it's kind of it's a small thing that I'm supposed to understand, that God keeps protecting me from the rain just like he feeds the birds. It's like a simple thing, and it doesn't make any sense. I can look right here. Just give me 1 second, because I have this open already. I have gone on 162 bicycle rides. 162 separate bicycle rides through the year of 2025, and my feet got wet twice. I've been rained on maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times I've had to ride in rain, but only twice my feet got wet. Which means the other 3 times I rode in the rain, it was just a light rain that, it was more like a damp rain, but my socks were still dry. And bicycle shoes are vented. They let everything in. They let the air through. They let the water right in. They're not waterproof at all. They're the opposite of waterproof. They're like water. They're like, let it in. I have shoe covers, but those are for cold weather. You have to wear shoe covers in cold weather because the air just goes right through your shoes and your feet will freeze. Or you get special winter cycling shoes that are waterproof and that are insulated. But those are, not everybody's made of money. But 162 bike rides, and 2 of those my feet got wet in a tropical climate where it rains all the time. Is that uncanny? That's not normal. You could not predict that. You could not say, yeah, you're probably only going to get wet twice in 162 rides. Do you know how many times I've gone on a long distance bike ride, like 300 miles or more, and not been rained on? I can't even think of a time. I can't think of a single time. Maybe once. Maybe one time I rode from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C., and I didn't get rained on. Maybe twice. Maybe twice I went a long distance a day. It's almost guaranteed. If you're going to go on a bike ride that goes multiple days, you're going to get wet because you're covering. The chances of you coming out of that dry are low unless you live in the desert and you're riding through the desert for 3 days. 162 rides, 2,755.3 miles, and my feet got wet twice. That's not normal. I live in Houston. It's been raining every freaking day. It hasn't rained yet today. It's sunny out. We'll see what happens in a few hours. We'll see. It has a habit of changing rapidly. It'll say it's not going to rain at all, and then boom, it's thunderstorm that comes out of nowhere. Let's take a look at the hourly report. It's supposed to be good for the day. No. 4 o'clock, they're calling for isolated thunderstorms. So yeah, it could rain every day here. And my feet got wet twice this year. Twice. 2 times I had to change my socks after a bike ride out of 162 bike rides because my feet were wet and I needed to have dry feet for the day. Both of the times I got rained on were on the way to the bakery. I keep extra socks in a locker there. Extra socks, extra underwear, things like that, just in case. And I've had to tap into that twice in 162 rides. So I don't know why God keeps my feet dry, but he won't let me get a good job. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants. So it's like, I don't know if I can trust him for the small things, like keeping me dry. Maybe I should trust him for the big things too. Maybe that's the message I'm supposed to get. I don't know. But it is uncanny. It is uncanny. And I thought it was very uncanny that I was talking about this time warp that we're all going through. And that's pretty much what the thing of the book was today. God divided time into day and night so that you would have manageable portions of life to handle. You'd get your stuff done during the day, sleep it off at the night, worry about one day to the next. Do animals go around worrying about next week? Does a crocodile worry about tomorrow? No, if they see a zebra today, they eat today. If tomorrow's another day. And then the other ones, so July 12th was Saturday. Okay, where's the 11th? I did look, didn't I? All right, so yeah, I don't even think I read Jesus Calling on the 11th when I was having the washing machine issues. And, I did spend a little bit of time worrying about tomorrow. But then I let it go. I just was like, what? don't need to worry about this today. It's not that big of a, it was a pain. It was a hassle, but I don't have to worry about it. I don't got to worry about next week. Let this thing sort itself out. So Saturday, before I went to the bakery, I think I read Jesus Calling because I was still emailing back and forth with the seller of the washing machine. And so it was still on my mind. And I was doing my prayer before going to the bakery. And July 12th, the entry was, whenever you feel distant from me, whisper my name in loving trust. This simple prayer can restore your awareness of my presence. So just trust. I just decided to trust that God would fix this. It's a small white person, first world kind of problem, even though this is kind of like a third world washing machine that you would use in a, this is like the kind of washing machine you would use if you were poor, slumdog millionaire in India somewhere. This isn't like a washing machine you'd use in a real home. But this is like white people first world problems I'm having. But, just trusting God, it restored my awareness of his presence. I was like, yeah, you can take care of this. I got other things to worry about today. And then you hear me do it on the videos. I don't edit them out. I'm going to talk about this for a minute. It says, my name is constantly abused in the world where people use it as a curse word. So yeah, when my washing machine stopped working, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I was mad. Right there, I dropped the Jesus F-bomb. Not just the F-bomb alone, but I tagged Jesus to it. And it says, this verbal assault reaches all the way to heaven where every word is heard and recorded. Jesus is going to be able to tell me how many times I dropped the F-bomb in he counts the hair on your head. He knows how many hairs you have on your head. He knows how many F-bombs I've let fly throughout my life. I can tell you that. And it's probably, I don't know which number's higher, the hairs on my head or the F-bombs I've dropped. They're close. There's a close competition there. Every word is heard and recorded. Woo! I would like to see the playback on that one. When you trustingly whisper my name, my aching ears are soothed. The grating rancor of the world's blasphemies cannot compete with a trusting child's utterance, Jesus. The power of my name to bless both you and me is beyond your understanding. So, I always think it's weird. I've always thought this my whole life, that how did Jesus' name, which wasn't even his name was Yeshua. I don't know how they changed it to Jesus. It's like if I went to Africa, my name wouldn't be Kunta Kinte, it would be Adam. I don't understand why they fucking, Matumbo. Would my name be Matumbo Makinde? If I went to Africa and lived there, no, I'd still be Adam. So I don't understand why Yeshua became Jesus or Jesus or whatever they call him. Why'd you change his fucking name? I don't get it. I never understand that at all. I think it's part of the way that Satan kind of wants to water it down and kind of diminish the power of his name. But Jesus knows we're talking about him. But when you get to heaven, are some people going to be calling him Yeshua? Some people going to be calling him Jesus? Is he going to have 6 different names when you get up there? Or are we all just going to call him by the same name, or Lord, or yes, Your Honor, or whatever we say? I don't know. I wonder about that. But it cracks me up, but not, it's weird that we use God's name as a curse word instead of just fuck or damn it or motherfucker or shit or whatever. You know, we have a million different curse words, and it doesn't matter what the word is. It's the meaning behind it that gets, you know, fine. If you replace, that's why I don't really get like, oh fudge. People get mad and they're like, well, at least I didn't say, oh fuck, I'm a good person. No, you just said the same fucking thing. You just used a different word for it. And you know what? Oh fudge isn't any different than oh fuck. Unless you're around real little kids that just repeat everything they hear the grown-ups say, and then you got a little 2-year-old running around going, oh fuck, fuckity fuck, fuck. And you taught that kid to do that. Oops, my bad. But, like, your intent is the same, whether you said, oh fiddlesticks or oh fuck. So I'm like, you know, that doesn't make you a good person because you used a different word that's not a bad, well, that's not one of the bad words. You're still expressing that you're pissed off about something. And you shouldn't be. And so I don't, you know, I don't like if somebody goes, oh, fiddlesticks, because they're Ned Flanders and they don't want to embarrass themselves at church. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You didn't say, you said the same thing I said, you just chose a different word. But it does, like, it's weird. Is it weird, or is it Satan working his magic in this world that the curse word you say when you're mad is Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus this, and Jesus, and, you know, like Mr. Slave on South Park, oh, Jesus, and Jesus Christ, and, you know, like, it's always like Jesus is the curse word. And it's just like, how did that evolve to become the curse word? Because most people who say Jesus when they're mad, they're not thinking about God. They're not blaspheming God on purpose. They're not mad at God and saying, God damn it, why did you do this to me, God? They're just mad, and that's just the word that comes out of their mouth. But they're not really thinking about, I'm mad at God that, you know, you drop your, you know, I fill up a glass of coffee and I drop it on the floor and it goes all over the floor. God damn it. And I'm not mad at God. I'm mad at myself for dropping the coffee. And that's just the word that came out. Like, how did that, I'd like to know how that evolved over history to where people were just like, God damn it, when something goes wrong. Even though they're not, like, consciously blaming God for what just happened and being mad at God, they're just upset. I think it's weird, I guess. It's kind of weird, but, like, you know, we look at the devil horns like that, right? And you know that that's on every metal album cover, every time, you know, when Ozzy Osbourne bites the head off of a fucking bat on stage and he's given the devil hands, he's like, hail Satan, all that. Do you know what the sign is in sign language for I love you? It's the devil horns. It's the same fucking thing. If you're deaf and you're married to a woman who's also deaf, you're going like this all the time and flashing the devil horns at each other, but that's just saying I love you. Isn't that fucking weird? So there's a lot of things with our language and the things that we do and say that, you know, Jesus fucking Christ and God damn it and all this, and people were saying that before I was born when they get mad about something. I don't know when I picked up on it. I know my grandfather, F word was bad in my house, but God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, that's fine. And they were Catholics. But they said God damn it all the time like it didn't matter. But you say the F word, oh shit, now we got problems in this house. Break out the Dawn, we gotta wash out this guy's mouth with soap. Oh my God, I can't believe you said such a bad word. Well, God damn it, 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 I can't believe you said such a bad word, God damn it. Oh, what about God damn it? Isn't that bad too? That's fine in this house, but fuck, you say that word and it's over. Wash his mouth out with soap. torture the kid and, commit child abuse. And, don't they have like the poison control hotline on the bottle that you're washing my fucking mouth out with? But it's okay to wash my mouth out when I said a dirty word, huh? But, so I don't know. I just find that to be strange, but not surprising at the same time. And I can tell you, when my washing machine broke, some Jesus fucking Christ came out. God damn it. Fuck this. Fuck that. I'm sure it came, within the first 10 to 15 minutes of me trying to figure out how to dry my clothes. The F-bomb count went up quite a bit. It probably is close to the number of hairs on my head if we really want to count. But are we talking about all the hairs that have ever been on my head, or the number of hair follicles on my head? Like, we got to define the hair count before we start counting the F-bombs for that contest. Because the number of hairs on my head could mean a few different things. But either way, it's going to be close. So that was July 12th, and I thought that was ironic because I just got, done stringing along a bunch of curses because I was mad about the laundry at first, and I was still mad because now I'm going back and forth with these Chinese guys, and I don't even know if I can read or if I can pull. Basically, I'm reading somebody named Michelle who's sending me bad English messages about, I don't know how, I can probably bring this up while I'm talking to you guys, but I got Michelle from the company that makes the washing machine, and what was the date? So the 15th, 14th, 13, shipped. No. It's amazing how much email I get in a single day. It's crazy. Oh boy, here we go. View the messages. So, yeah, so now I've got Michelle emailing me. I don't know. I'm not even going to read it. It's just bad Chinese English. Like, you can tell you're talking to someone from China. Even though it's Michelle or Mark. It's not Ching or Chang or Ying or Yang or Wang. It's Michelle or Mark. But it's not. That's all I'm gonna say. And it was a little bit frustrating going back and forth with this person until they finally said, we'll give you a refund. And then I'm like, okay, we're good. And then, but I still was like worried about, well, when's the refund gonna come, and is my laundry gonna pile up and blah. Don't worry about tomorrow. It's Tuesday. I got a new washing machine. I don't even need to do laundry for 3 more days. And now my problem is I have to do laundry today to make sure this thing works. Oh, darn, I have to do laundry and have clean clothes again. Oh, boy, that sucks. So that leads us to Jesus Calling on July 13th, which was Sunday, which is the last time I read the book before today. And I was in a different place. I was tired, exhausted on Sunday. I slept in until 11 a.m. just about. I got things done, but not everything. I didn't work on my bicycles. I just felt horrible. I feel a little better today, but I'm feeling that post-bike ride sluggishness and just feeling awful physically. But anyway, this is what it said on Sunday, and there was some stuff in there for me. Maybe there's some stuff in there for you. It says, I want you to experience the riches of your salvation, the joy of being loved constantly and perfectly. You make a practice of judging yourself based on how you look or behave or feel. If you like what you see in the mirror, you feel a bit more worthy of my love. When things are going smoothly and your performance seems adequate, you find it easier to believe you are my beloved child. When you feel discouraged, you tend to look inward so you can correct whatever is wrong. Instead of trying to fix yourself, fix your gaze on me, the lover of your soul. Rather than using your energy to judge yourself, redirect it into praising me. Remember that I see you clothed in my righteousness, radiant in my perfect love. And so, yeah, I mean, I do this. I judge myself. I've been beating myself up for not being able to keep up with everything I need to get done. I am judging myself based on making a stupid mistake that ruined my life and had the FBI show up with a tank to drive through my fucking house and take me to prison for 2 years, all because I posted some shit on Twitter. 2 fucking years in prison for social media posts in America. And now I'm, where I shared a jail cell with a guy who killed somebody and got 14 months as a sentence for killing somebody. I got 2 years for Twitter posts. Somebody else gets 14 months for killing another human being. And then I just read an article about a guy who's an illegal immigrant, grabs a knife and chases around a prosecutor, a federal prosecutor, threatening to kill the federal prosecutor while he's running after him with a knife. 3 months. He gets 3 months in jail. 90 days. So I see all this shit. And yeah, I blame myself for the stupidity of what I did, but what the fuck, dude? What the fuck is that? 2 fucking years for some Twitter posts while a fucking illegal immigrant can run after the prosecutor with a fucking knife threatening to kill them. That would have been better. That would have been better. Why the fuck didn't I think about that? Why didn't I show up at the FBI office with a fucking knife in my hand going, I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'd have been home in 3 months. I'd have been home in 3 months. I could have probably got someone to pay my rent for me. Would I even be charged? Would that have even been, that wouldn't have even been a felony. That would be a misdemeanor. 3 months in jail, back home, I'd be able to get a fucking job again. Oh, that's just a misdemeanor. All he did was chase around a prosecutor with a knife threatening to kill him. It's not like he posted stuff on Twitter. What the fuck, man? Seriously, you call me, you say I don't accept responsibility when I get like this, that he just thinks that he's above the law and he doesn't accept responsibility for what he did. And I'm like, well, what about what these other people fucking did? I didn't chase around a prosecutor with a fucking knife threatening to kill him and only get 90 days in jail for that. I didn't kill somebody. I didn't run over a guy on a fucking bicycle while I was drunk off my ass and kill him and get 14 months in jail. So give me a fucking break. There's no justice in this fucking country. There's not. You can't tell me that there is. You can't tell me that there's justice in America when there's a bunch of fucking child molesters running this country and we have another president protecting them from being prosecuted or arrested. And he's out there saying, why are you all talking about this Jeffrey Epstein guy? That happened so long ago. Just forget about that shit. Why are you even talking about it now? Why do you keep bringing this up? That's old news. That happened so long ago. Leave these people, why do we want to keep beating that dead horse? Because some of the horses aren't dead. Because a lot of the child molesting people who did that, who bought tickets to go to Jeffrey Epstein's island and fuck kids, they're in charge of our government now, and they're the ones that make the laws and the ones that fucking have all this power over us. And we, the people, we're kind of sick and tired of it. We don't want to be ruled over by a bunch of fucking child molesters. Duh. No shit, Sherlock. So no, I don't feel like there's justice in America. I never will. This country is shit. This country is fucking shit. If that's what we are, if we're a country where we let people who rape children be in charge, then how the fuck do I take this government seriously? Fuck you. Fuck you. Nobody should take these people seriously. These people should be hung. Like, they've done things that they should be executed for after going through the proper courtroom procedures and getting a fair and impartial trial. Get the fuck out of here. You don't accept responsibility for what you did. You got 2 years for some tweets. Yet I could have run over a guy on a bicycle and killed him while I'm drunk off my ass. I'd have been home in a year and a half or less. I would have been home in 14 months. And if I had chased the prosecutor around with a knife saying, I'm gonna kill you, I'd have got 3 fucking months. 3 months and you get to go home. You're not even a legal citizen. You broke the fucking law by coming to this country illegally in the first place, and you chased after the fucking prosecutor with a knife threatening to kill them, and then you end up with 3 months in jail. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fucking fair. It's so fucking fair. Oh my goodness. And I didn't even get to the part that I wanted to talk about, and this video got long. So you know what? I'm going to hit stop, and I'm going to check my space, and then I'm going to do one more video, and then I might not shoot a video for the next 2 days. That way I just have content going up. Because nothing I have said in today's videos is time sensitive. It's good any day of the week. So I'm going to say peace out for now, and we'll talk again later.